Yo, what's going on, guys? I hope you all are having a fantastic weekend. Obviously, we've got the Town We Are Derby coming up today. Hopefully, we beat Sunderland away at the Stadium of Shite. But I thought I would quickly touch on the Arsenal game last night against Wolves. If you told me away at the Emirates that Wolves would have scored all three goals and Arsenal would have won that game, I don't know what the hell I would have said. Which, bear in mind, Wolves has not won a game this season. I did say people were writing Wolves off too much. They're not a terrible team. I said I think Arsenal would have won 3-0, to be honest, but I said I could have also seen Wolves potentially have got a win or a point from this because everyone's just tempting the football gods. They're just writing them off when they're not as bad as what the score is. Like I said, they nearly got a win against Villa. As you can see, both teams had 2 shots on target this whole game, which says a lot. It says kind of everything you need to know about the game, that of how bad it was. Wolves had a very resolute style. Basically, Rob Edwards knew that Arsenal has the highest line in the Premier League. Basically, they play like with a defensive line around here or something, like incredibly high. So what he did, sat basically everyone else behind the ball and had Hwang kind of in between the defenders and the halfway line. This was his tactics to go on basically just counter-attacking football with Hwang's pace. He looked very dangerous running in. When he did get him, it wasn't very often. But he looked dangerous, and I could see their idea. Gyökeres missed some absolute sitters. Saka put on the plate across to him. Gyökeres should have had the pace to get onto it. But let's talk about the very first goal. Should this have stood? Let me know what you guys think below about in the comment section about what I have to say. Personally, I like to point out inconsistencies with VARs and referees because I think it needs to be highlighted and it shouldn't be let go. So basically, Saka, in the build-up to the play, I'll show you here. As you can see from here, he is... I'll go this one just to show you exactly where he is. As you can see here, he looks offside. Declan Rice, he definitely is offside, you can tell. Basically, you can see here, Declan Rice kicks the ball over to Saka, to feed Saka, who's offside. No other Arsenal defenders are in. So here's Totti Gomez, just to let you guys know. Here is Gomez. So I need you guys to understand this. Gomez and Saka both run to where the ball's going, okay? As you can see here, Gomez then heads the ball out for a corner. Saka doesn't jump for it, but he's clearly interfering with the play. PGMOL. God, I can always struggle with saying that, flipping those words for some reason. Basically, came out and said this. Preventing it basically says to be offside, it's like interfering with an opponent, which is basically preventing an opponent from playing or being able to play the ball by obstructing, challenging for the ball, attempting the ball to play, which impacts an action of an opponent. This, I think, is something everyone needs to focus on. This bit right here, clearly attempting to play a ball which is close when this action is impact. Is it just me, or does those words does that not make sense? Either way, it's basically saying attempting to play the ball where your action affects the action of another player when you're in an offside position, making an obvious action which clearly impacts the ability and impacts on the ability of an opponent to play the ball. Again, all of these feed in to the same sort of thing that happens here. So basically, no other Arsenal players around here. Declan Rice boots the ball over. Gomez only heads the ball here because if he doesn't, if Saka's not here, he just lets the ball go out and it's a goal kick. Okay? We can all agree if there's no Arsenal player there, there's no reason for a Wolves player to even bother heading the ball. Basically, because Saka's here, Totti has to make a defensive action because he thinks if the ball goes over, Saka gets it in and drills the ball across straight to Gyökeres here, and it should be a goal. So basically, I'll just say this: if that happened, VAR would have had to check this. And would have seen Saka is offside. But what actually happens? Gomez hits the ball out. Saka then basically does a corner in on the edge of the box, hits the post, bounces off the post, hits Johnston, and goes in. It was a bit of an unlucky own goal, but these things happen. It was similar to what happened with us actually, where Bruno scored an own goal. I think VAR needs to be used to check stuff like this. I've said this. You all know this about me. I've been so consistent about this. I've always pointed out inconsistencies with referees, whether it affects us, whether it doesn't. I want consistency in the game, whether it's no matter what it is. I want consistency. Granted, they are being consistent that they don't seem to be checking these for some reason, but I think VAR should be checking this because when a goal goes in, they will check the actions leading up to that goal, whether there's a reason for the goal to be ruled out. Offside being one of them. There is no reason why they shouldn't be checking a goal from a corner flag that was caused by an offside position should not be checked. That should be checked. And people, for some reason, in the mainstream media and a lot of people in the media are not talking about. Not too sure why. But it's definitely something that should be spoke about and shouldn't just be let to go under the radar. But either way, guys, please let me know what you think. Like I said, I personally thought Arsenal was by far the better team. This is just something from the Wolves thing that said. Basically, yeah, I think Danny Murphy also said on Match of the Day that he thought that it was a correct decision that he didn't affect the play when he clearly did. So I don't know that. Basically, as you can see here, it says didn't affect the player's line of vision. I mean, that's true. He didn't challenge for the ball. This is a grey area because his action caused the Wolves player to challenge for the ball because they thought Saka was in an onside position. He didn't play the ball. I would argue and say he did by making a run for the ball. Although then he said he dropped off, didn't he? No. He just didn't jump for the ball because he was trying to run and hope the ball would have went over Gomez's head. So, as a whole, I think that is not necessarily true. He didn't do anything to impact the ability of the opponent to play the ball. This is where it's a grey area because he didn't actually do anything to stop Gomez from playing the ball. However, Gomez did a defensive header to make it go out for a corner. If, like I said, if Saka wasn't there or he knew Saka was in an offside position, he would have just left it and it would have went out for a goal kick. So I think that's where the line needs to be drawn because that completely changed how the play should have went. It should have been a goal kick to Johnston, which then changes again what could have happened. Doesn't mean that Arsenal couldn't have then scored from the goal kick or whatever, but that's where, like I said, consistencies need to be. Also, like I said, with a better team, I'm surprised they didn't score, to be honest. I think it's been something that I've been spoken about that they are struggling at scoring open play goals against teams with incredibly low blocks. But it is what it is. I think, like I said, when Jesus and Havertz come back, I think they'll fit this team much better. And I think Arsenal will start scoring more open play goals with those. Gyökeres doesn't seem to be hitting the mark at the moment. I think maybe he needs to be the player that comes on a bit later in the game just to try and build some confidence because right now he's not looking like a player that has confidence at all. Either way, guys, let me know what you think below. But it's going to be an interesting one for the title race because I wonder what you guys think if City are going to be watching this, how Arsenal's been recently, and get hopes for that maybe they're struggling a bit at the moment. Granted, struggling and managed to still get 3 points from it is massive, and Arsenal should be happy with that. But yeah, it'll be interesting for the title race and what people think. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I hope you all have a great Sunday, and I hope we smash Sunderland in the Tyweir derby today at 2 p.m. So that'll be a good game. I'll be on the football terrorist for a match reaction afterwards if you guys are about. And I'll probably do a reaction on this channel or something. But either way, guys, much love. Peace.